Good morning, Warriors. I'm Johnny Maggio.
And I'm Aqueelah Muhammad. Today is November 30th, Day D.
We hope everyone had a nice mini holiday break, but now it's back to school until our next holiday break.
In the past week, our school has been participating in a can drive where clubs donate cans to be eligible for school grants.
The food drive ends December 2nd, this Friday. Please contact your club advisors for further information.
Last week, our very own Chris Colbert sat down with Wilton's Fire Chief Canterman with some information about fire safety in Wilton Fire Department. Let's take a look.
Morning, Chief Canterman. Thank you very much for coming out today for the show. We really appreciate it.
Good morning, Chris. First of all, I'd like to thank the crew here in the studio. You guys do a great job. I want to thank Principal O'Donnell for allowing me to come and chat with the Wilton High School population. And congratulations to the Lady Warriors on their championship. I'd be remiss if I didn't say that. So what's going on?
Thanks very much. We have a few questions this morning.
Sure.
So how long have you been the fire chief in Wilton, and where did you work before coming here?
Well, I'm here 2.5 years, and before that I was the fire chief at the Mohegan Sun Casino in Eastern Connecticut. I was there for 5 years. Prior to that, I worked in New Jersey for 20 years as a chief in a chemical plant. And before that, I started my career in the New York City Fire Department.
What does the Wilton Fire Department look like in terms of equipment and staffing?
Well, currently, Chris, we have 6 firefighters on a shift. 4 firefighters are stationed down at headquarters here on Danbury Road, and 2 guys are up north at the Station 2 on Ridgefield Road.
How many and what types of calls do you answer in a year?
We average probably somewhere between 1,600 and 1,800 calls a year. We go on a lot of EMS medical calls, of course, fires, car accidents. They widened Route 7 a couple of years back, and we got a lot more traffic these days. So the laws of physics, and I know a lot of you learn this in school here, you can't put 2 solid objects in the same place at the same
Very
time.
true.
So that causes us to go out onto the highway and help people when they need it.
When there's a fire in town, who comes to help through the area mutual aid system?
If I said everybody, I'd be lying, but almost everybody. We're surrounded by some great fire departments here. Obviously, with a 6-person crew, we try to be as effective as we can, but at a fire, there's so many things to do. So we have a mutual aid system, we call it, and surrounded by, I'm going to go around the clock here, it would be New Canaan and the Georgetown Fire District, Town of Weston, Westport, and Norwalk. And those are all what we call mutual aid partners. They come here to help us, we go there to help them.
Very
It's a pretty efficient system.
Yes, it is. For our students who may be interested, how does one go about becoming a career firefighter?
Well, the first thing we'd like to tell anybody who thinks they want to be a firefighter in the future, man or woman, girl or boy, whatever it is you can start taking courses. If you're going from high school into college, you can major in fire protection or fire science, fire engineering. So I would encourage you, no matter what you want to do in the fire service, go to school. But the thing to do is look around, take exams to get into it, and start looking at emergency medical technician. Almost every fire department, not just here in Connecticut, but nationwide, they're looking for that EMT certification. Right. So 70% of the fire service in the United States handles medical calls. So get your EMT. You can, I think at 18 you can register for an EMT class, and you're kind of on your way. But keep on the lookout for testing exams, and think broad. Don't just think Connecticut. If you really want to be a firefighter, take exams in New York and Connecticut and Massachusetts and Maryland and wherever you think you may want to be someday, just to get in.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell us about this year's Fire Prevention Week activities and community risk reduction programs? Yeah,
this week we were in all the schools in town, the public schools and the private schools, and we did a lot of good public fire safety education. You know, it starts when you're young. For you folks out there watching here in the high school, when you were younger, you went to the middle school or the public school, I'm sure you remember the firefighters coming to the school and getting on your hands and knees and crawling low under smoke and stop, drop, and roll. And hopefully those lessons stay with you the rest of your life, because as you grow up, and I will never call you boys and girls in a high school. You're ladies and gentlemen. You're young ladies and gentlemen. And you're on your way, and you're going to be going to college soon, and you'll be on your own shortly. Those lessons of life safety and fire protection have to stay with you. And I'm kind of glad you asked me that question. We had a house fire here in town about a year ago. And it was a couple in their 70s, and we got it under control quickly, and I asked the gentleman some questions, and he said he remembered a lesson he learned in school about simple thing as closing doors.
Right.
and he found the fire. It was in between the garage and the house in a breezeway area, and he found it. He made sure the doors were shut and latched so the fire would stay in there until we got there to put the fire out. And he said he remembered the firemen coming to his school when he was a kid. So these lessons that you're learning all the way through grade school up to high school and beyond should stay with you the rest of your life.
It really sticks with you.
Yeah, it does.
How can students get involved in the emergency services in Wilton?
Well, we got a couple of things going on. We don't have volunteer firefighters. However, the Wilton Volunteer Ambulance Corps, they're always looking for folks. In fact, they just advertised to give an emergency medical technician class. You can volunteer with the WVAC. And we have what we call a CERT team. It's the Citizens Emergency Response Team. Great group of people. They come out to emergencies. They assist us. They assist the police department. They have a juniors program for folks your age and high school age. If you're interested in really planting your feet in emergency services, joining the CERT team as a junior would be a great opportunity for you, and or the Volunteer Ambulance Corps.
Our Wilton High School seniors are getting ready to go off to college. Can you give us some fire and life safety tips about living away from home and in a dorm or apartment?
Yeah. You know, up until now, for you seniors out there, mom and dad took care of you your whole life. And now it's time for you to take care of yourself. And they're putting their trust in the folks who run the schools, the colleges, the dormitories, and maybe student life apartments and things like that. But it's really up to you to be smart, be prepared to go to college, and be prepared to live on your own. We've had untold tragedies around the United States over the years in off-campus housing, on-campus housing. We have information for you and your folks. If you like, call the firehouse at any time, and we have it. In fact, we'll get it to the high school. They can post it on their website. Tough questions to ask the admissions officer, and even a list of an emergency kit to take with you. Gosh, I will tell you, my daughter, when she went to college, she was miserable the first 2 weeks because I gave her all that stuff. Okay, so my job was to make her miserable as a dad. But things as simple like a rechargeable flashlight, just plugged into the wall in the dormitory room. So you got a blackout, you get a fire, you got a light right by your bed, you know, that you can grab, and things like that. So it's kind of a little emergency kit. We have all that information. We'll get it out to the school. Maybe they can get it on the website to distribute. Anybody can go in there and download it. Here's another program that we talked about, been talking about 20 years, a group of us. We want you to start a trend when you go off to college. Okay, we want you to be the designated party master. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Now, most people would think, well, you're in charge of the party. Well, you're not. Okay, the designated party master is like the designated driver. That's the person who does not imbibe in anything that would impair their judgment. The party master would be in charge of the fraternity house, the sorority house, anywhere where they'd be having some sort of a party where people may be imbibing in whether it's alcohol, hopefully not anything worse than that, but someone to have their wits about them if they had to evacuate the house or the building. Moreover, to extinguish smoking materials at the end of the night. Most of the tragedies we've had were smoking materials that were left in a garbage can or fell into a couch, and then in the middle of the night, there's a big fire at a fraternity house and it ends up bad. So we want you to start a trend when you get into those places and into that social ring to say, you know what, let's designate a party master for every time we're going to get together and have a good time. One person just kind of stands by, and you want to call him the fire marshal for the night, you want to call him the party master, you want to call him the girl in charge, whatever you want to call it. But start a trend, okay, in the interest of your own safety and the safety of your fellow classmates, okay? And that all goes together with, you know, being careful how you drive and all that other good stuff that you need to do when you're away from home.
Great. Chief, thank you very much for the advice. It was a great learning experience.
Thanks, Chris, and thank you, Wilton High School. Have a great holiday season.
Chris, Chief, thank you for your time. We really do appreciate it, and we'll be sure to take your advice.
Now it's time to see what our upcoming forecast is in Wilton with our very own Jackson Dill. Take it away, Jackson.
All right, thanks, guys. So it's going to be another rainy day today. Here's a look at your afternoon. You see rain for the next several hours throughout the evening. Temperatures hovering around the mid-50s. It's going to be a brutal day. It's also going to be windy at times, so rain and cool temperatures could be expected for the rest of today. And so taking you through the next 7 days, we got the rain today. That's all going to clear out early Thursday morning, so we got nice sunshine for the rest of the week. It will be much cooler with highs only in mid-40s. The weekend's looking pretty nice as well with the sunshine still around. Temperatures a little bit cooler in the mid-40s still, and then we may be tracking our next significant system for Monday. The models are showing there is a chance for snow in the morning, We'll have to stay tuned. That'll clear out for Tuesday with sunny skies back in the forecast.
Thanks, Jackson. That's it for this week.
I'm Aqueelah.
And I'm Johnny. Please give a special birthday wish to Julianne Cooney and Chris Colbert, two of Morning Warrior's very own. And also, with any comments, questions, or suggestions, please email us at wetv@wiltonps.org. Have a great week.
I'm going. Wait, I don't know what I'm.
Well, that's it for this week. I'm Johnny Maggio.
I'm Aqueelah.
And I'm. That didn't make any sense.
Weather forecasters with Wilton in Wilton with the help of Jackson, Dill, and Jackson.